Hey, hey, happy Monday, everyone, here with Cruise Beyond Limits. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are we feeling today? Today, I want to talk about finding your mission. It is Mission Week, and I am actually volunteering at my church this week here in Puerto Rico. For those of you who don't know, I moved to Puerto Rico 10 steps from the ocean to fulfill my life's mission to help people live happier and healthier in just 34 minutes a day so we can reduce the stress and overwhelm of life and live a more fulfilling life. And who doesn't want that? So that's my mission and purpose. And I am volunteering with my church this week to go on a mission here in the local community in Puerto Rico. I live right near the airport in San Juan. And it got me thinking. A lot of people ask me, Crystal, where do you get all this energy from? Where do you get this confidence from? How did you figure out your life's mission and purpose? And just to give you a quick recap of a little bit of where this all came from is I literally just retired from the military after 22 years. And there was a time period of 7 years ago where I moved away from home. I was in a transition point. I was in kind of like an identity crisis. I had been in the military for almost 15 years at the time, and I met my husband and we got orders. We had to move away and for his military position. And I literally resigned my full-time position in the military and I moved away from my friends, my family, and everything I knew. And I had to start from scratch in a place that I knew no one. And that was a transition for me in an identity crisis. And I had to ask myself, what is my next purpose? What is my next mission? And I had to ask myself the question, what can I do with what I've got? Now, I served in the military and I wore the uniform every day. So my mission was the military, right? That was my life's work. And so I had to get really creative and curious in what it is that I really wanted to do to continue my life's work, which y'all know, like when you work your career and your purpose, it is the majority of your life, right? And so I think a lot of people work in a job for someone else and they're miserable. And I see it every day. And that's what I really love to help people step into their power, to ignite their fire, to design the life that they desire and live the life of their dreams and go after it. And it is possible. And so what I found was the biggest question way back when, 7 years ago, over almost 8 years ago now, when I started my business, I had to get clear and ask myself a couple questions and really map this out. And so what I love to do is give you tangible strategies and tips and tricks and all the things to help you navigate seasons of change, transition. Ask yourself the powerful life's questions. And the biggest one for me is, who am I? Why am I put on this earth? And what can I do with what I've got? And I'll repeat that for those of you in the back. If you're taking notes, I'd love to connect with you too. If you have questions, comments, I'll try to manage the comments here. I know we're streaming in a couple different places, so shout yourself out where you're tuning in from. So it's, who am I? Why am I put on this earth? What can I do with what I've got? Who am I? Why am I put on this earth? What can I do with what I've got? And so those are three questions that I have asked myself over the years. And I had to kind of dissect how I got here, right? How am I live right here with you on this screen, living out my best life on the beaches of Puerto Rico? It's been a journey, y'all. All right, so let's backwards plan, because when we look at everyone's highlight reel, we're like, oh, must be nice. You live on the ocean. Must be nice. You have this beautiful view. Must be nice. You're so confident on camera. It must be nice. You're traveling all over to speak on stages and host retreats internationally. And you have this global brand and this huge business with an incredible team. It looks good on the outside, right? But it has been a process and a journey. And there's been years that I never shared that. And so my life's role now is to share all the lessons and blessings along the way. right? So it has been 7 years of me building an online business since November 1st of 2017, when I was broke, without a job, in a place that I knew nobody, and I had to start from scratch. And I had to get scrappy, y'all. This is before COVID, before Zoom, before, an online business, and thought leaders were popular. Like, I started this scrappy. So right here, take out your notebook, because these are some tangible strategies that are going to help you find your mission, right? And so when opportunities arise and come up, say for instance volunteering for the mission at my church, I feel called to literally be in alignment of wherever I'm at, to share this message. All right. So the message of happiness and hope and love and alignment and passion and purpose and mission is my mission. Right. And that might not be yours. And that's okay. Because if we had a lot of me, not only would the world be really energetic, but it would be pretty boring, because we'd all be alike. And what's really cool is, as I've been in the leadership space for over 10 years, like actually more than 20 years, I just retired from the military over 22 years. And literally the last 15 years of my career, I was in a leadership role. And I was really doing strategic thinking and managing people and processes in global, national programs, right? And so my brain works at a very high strategic level, global, macro level. And then we go, okay, what's in it for me? And what does this mean for you in Wyoming? What does this mean for you in Pennsylvania? What does this mean for you in California? What does this mean for you as an introvert? What does this mean for you as a mom? What does this mean for you going through divorce? What does this mean for you in your retirement? What does this mean for you when your kids go to school? What does this mean for you when you're no longer a caretaker? What does this mean for you when you get a cancer diagnosis? What does this mean for you when your spouse gets a job or an opportunity and you have to get up and pull yourself by the roots and pick up again? What does this mean for you as a military spouse as you move around and you lose your identity? I have countless different transitions and people that I have supported, thousands of people over the years through seasons of change. And so, 3 tips for you today. I'm not going to be here very long, but I want to share with you 3 ways that I help people find their purpose. And I'll tell you, it is not a light switch. I'm still figuring it out, y'all. Okay, so if you really want the fast track to success, there's no fast track. It is who you become along the way. So, spoiler alert, I'm going to give you some tangible strategies and tips and tricks, right? And trying to remove the word but out of my vocabulary. And it's going to be a process. It's going to be an evolution. It's going to be a beautiful, painful journey. And what you see today is still an evolution that I'm learning and leaning in each and every day. Okay, so put your seatbelt on. It's a wild ride. Get your notes out. I'm going to give you 3 ways to help you kind of get curious, and the ways that have helped me. All right. And this may not be for you. Some of them, take them or leave them. All right. But my role is to give you what has worked for me to hopefully help inspire you to take action. All right. And that is, spoiler alert. The 3rd tip is you actually have to take action. Less thinking, more doing. All right. But let's start with number 1. We need to reflect on our values and our passion. Okay. So I never feel like I work a day in my life, because I come alive on this camera, because I have learned to be all parts of me. And I know that my personality, my passion, my confidence, my zest for life, my pursuit of what sets my soul on fire ignites other people's fires. And this is contagious, y'all. So if my energy is piercing through your screen, this is my life's work. And I have found alignment. I found passion. I found drive. I find purpose in this work. So you may not be in front of a camera right now. Align your life's work with the stuff that you're passionate about. And then it's less work. It's less turning your body and your nervous system on and off, and shutting off a part of you to go to work. and then leaving it at work, and then getting in the car and aimlessly driving home, and you figure out, you're like, how did I get here? And then you got to walk into your family or your friends, and you got to turn on this other part of you that comes alive. Y'all, that's exhausting. And I did it for many, many years through the military, shutting off my emotions, shutting off my dreams, not having a voice, not standing up for myself, not being able to shine. And we call that covering. We call this code switching. And in our body, our brain is like a processing system, and our nervous system, it shuts off and turns on and compartmentalizes. This code switching and this covering, your body goes through a process. And so if you're feeling exhausted because you're not living your best life, it's because your body and your nervous system and your brain is going through this code switching, this covering, this compartmentalization, and it's exhausting, y'all. So why not you make it less exhausting? So I did. I was like, what am I good at? And I had a beautiful coach, transition coach. Shout out to Teresa. I call her Mother Teresa because she literally listened. She had the patience of a saint, and she just asked me some really powerful questions. What do you want to do to continue your mission? What are you good at? What are you passionate about? What are your values? When have you felt alive? Guess what? I wrote it down, and I figured out I spent 6 months in a wheelchair, diagnosed with a really rare form of rheumatoid arthritis in the middle of my NFL career. I was an NFL cheerleader. Go Buffalo, by the way. Yes, we had a huge win last night. All right. So I had to figure out, okay, what have I been through that I can help others with? Y'all, at the young age of 22, I was at the height of my height and starting my military career, to landing myself in a wheelchair and never being able to walk again, to taking endless amounts of medication. And I wasn't taking my health and fitness seriously. So I had to learn the power of nutrition, mindfulness, therapy, mental health, physical well-being, because I was working out and I was burned out, and I was driving all over the place. I was going to school full time, working part time, checking in at the gym, doing all these public appearances, trying to be in my best shape, learn this intense choreography. It was intense, y'all. Oh, by the way, I was in a physically abusive, toxic relationship with the person I was living with. So I was like burned out at all edges. It's no wonder why my body shut down. It was screaming. So I had to learn at a very young age the tools, how to bounce back, what that season of change looks like. How do you live with an autoimmune disease? How do you live with a diagnosis for the rest of your life when you feel that your life has just started? And I've been doing this for 20 years, y'all. It's been 20 years. I'm dating myself. Woo! Yes. Okay. So I had to reflect on what have I been through and what can I help people do? I literally started an online fitness business in 2017 because I wrote down the moments where I had pain and I bounced back. It took an entire year. I got off of all the medication. I got help. I got therapy. I listened to my body. I started advocating for myself. I got out of that toxic relationship. I started standing up for myself to the doctors, and I got off of medication and I started running. I started healing inside and out. And I've run 26 marathons and a 50-mile race. And I'm about to run my 27th marathon in Tokyo. How did I do that? It wasn't a light switch. It wasn't just one workout. It's a mindset. It's an identity shift. It's moving through the emotions. It's moving through the hard times. And the very angels and the coaches and the people that were in my corner were the very people that got me there. And it is my life's purpose to carry on that legacy. My life's purpose is to shorten the time period of self-doubt and overwhelm, to reduce that anxiety and stress and depression and medication and conflict and self-sabotage and divorce and cancer and all these other diagnoses, and taking endless amounts of medication to offset the medication that you took, and you don't even know what's up or down. Ask me how I know. I've been there. And so I love to be that person and that angel in that space for others. I want to show you what's possible so you can do the same for others. Okay. So tip number one, reflect on your values, reflect on your passion, and how can you align this so we're not switching on and off? Y'all, I love fitness. I love running. I love community. I love studying the brain. I love teaching. I love coming alive. I love performing. I was an NFL cheerleader and a dancer and a cheerleader my whole life. I was a professional belly dancer too, fun fact. I love performing. I love helping. I love expression. I have a lot of energy. So that is my life's passion and purpose. And so why not put it all together to come alive on camera and be an online entrepreneur and travel all over? And I get to live 10 steps from the ocean. And I literally look over outside right now on my balcony is the ocean. I designed it that way. And so what can you design to fulfill your life's passion, purpose, your experience, and what makes you come alive? And so one other tip that I want to give you for homework, because sometimes we lose sight of what we have accomplished and our experiences and our education. And when we think about what our purpose is and our passion, it seems so big, but really if you just get back to like, what are you good at? What have you accomplished? Write down what are you proud of? What memories have made you come alive and that you are so proud of? That might just be an indicator, because right now, even just saying it, sinking it in, I did a 2024 in review, a success list, and I went I did this back in December before the new year. Literally, it's right here. It was only a couple weeks ago. I feel like 2024 was like 10 years ago, but it really wasn't. 2025, y'all, has it been a year already? It's only been 3 weeks, or 2 weeks or whatever. How many weeks? 2.5 weeks, whatever. Anyways, I did a list. I went January till December of all of the moments. I scrolled through my phone of all the pictures and videos of what brought me alive. What were the powerful memories, right? And what were the themes? And what am I so proud of? I did a year in review to sink it into the memories. And these are key indicators. If we skip over this process, I'm telling you, my friends, we're going to be reaching for things that are outside us. When you have the power within, everything that brings you alive is what's going to bring you to that next step. Those are breadcrumbs. Those are indicators. Y'all, I retired from the Air Force after 22 years in April of 2024. I decided that I would have no expectations as a recovering perfectionist. I decided last year, no expectations. I have a Post-it note here. I had it all over, every light switch, all over my boards, everywhere, on the mirrors. And it was a mindset shift. I decided. I hosted one of my biggest retreats and events in September of 2024. And I was baptized, y'all. Like, these are big moments in my life just in 2024 that I look back at the pictures and I'm just like, oh my gosh, sinking into those memories, and made me feel alive and so proud. So those are 4 main things, technically 3, right? I retired. I hosted my biggest retreat, an event of over 120 female veterans, right? All in one room for 3 days. And I had my team there, and then I was baptized, right? 3 main key events that I felt so proud and alive. But then a mindset shift of no expectations, right? So I say that to say, what are your moments where you feel alive and proud? Those are breadcrumbs. Those are breadcrumbs of the things that you've done that make you feel alive and proud. Let's do more of that. Okay. Let's find more of those moments this year in 2025. So a year from now, when you look back at your success list of 2025, you're able to say, wow, okay, here's some more nuggets that are going to give me more key indicators of what next steps to take. Okay. So tip number 2, identify your gifts and strengths, the impact and the reputation that you want. So if you were to think of when you leave the room, When I leave the room, what do you say about me? I would love to hear from you. Like, what do you say? What is the impact? Right? I want to be patient. I want to be present. I want to be charismatic. I want to be influential. I want to be kind. I want to be loving. I want to be energetic. I want to be magnetic. I want to give you wisdom. I want to leave every room happier and healthier than when I showed up. So I know that those are my gifts and strengths. And I know that I have the power to change the energy in the room. And that's one of my gifts and one of my strengths. So hang out with me just for 5 minutes. Book a call with me. I'd love to connect with you and just spend 5 minutes with you. You never know. You never know. So identify your gifts and strengths. What do people say about you? And continue to use that as a litmus test and say, okay, do I like what people are saying about me? Or do we need to make some changes? Right? Maybe implement some other healthy habits or ask for help, whatever we need to do. But we need to ask ourselves, what is the legacy that we're leaving? What is our mission? And it doesn't have to be this grand thing. It can just be today when I talk to my children, today when I talk to my coworkers, today when I talk to my spouse, today when I talk to my mentor, today when I want to put a smile on their face and make an impact. When I go through the drive-through or I'm at the coffee shop, I make eye contact with a stranger and give them a smile and give them hope for humanity. All right. So what are you good at? What are your strengths? What are your gifts? What do you want to be known for? What is the impact? It's bigger than us, my friends, because we are energetic human beings and we're meant to connect and we're not meant to do life alone. So identify what your strengths are, and that just might give you some indicators of what your purpose is. And also, while we're here, I also want you to think about what grinds your gears. What is so painful that you can't stand, that you complain about all the time? What is a problem that needs to be solved in the world or in your family or in your circle? I'll tell you, if we're looking at 2024, right? I retired in April, seasons of change, transition, identity crisis, biggest event, right? Where I went after my dreams and goals. I said I wanted to do this 7 years ago, y'all. I said I wanted to host a retreat for female veterans and have an incredible team of veterans and military spouses. 7 years ago, I did an Instagram. I was at an event and I said it and I did it. Because I know the season of change and the pain of the identity crisis, of this transition. All right. And then I got baptized because I see when people don't have faith, when people don't have hope. And the question I always ask, because I'm growing in my faith, I ask, like, hey, how's your relationship with your faith journey? Whatever that is. Most times when people are stressed and they're in their weakest moments or their hardest moments, ask yourself, how's my relationship with my faith? Where did I go astray? How can I return back to that? And so seasons of change and transition have been my life's purpose. And so I wrote 2023 now. I can't believe I used to say like last year. It's over a year ago now. The Road to Resilience. 5 ways to have courageous confidence in seasons of change. And this maps out what I call the freedom formula. And it has journal prompts and other questions and tools, right? Because I determined that life is a series of changes and transitions. And as you go into the next season of business, of your fitness journey, of divorce, or your career, or getting out of corporate and starting your own business, or wanting to be an author or a speaker, it is a transition. Or you're grieving the loss of loved ones. We get a second chance at life. And so recognizing like, hey, what is the pain point here that you want to solve? Where do you see some themes and patterns? And how can you help? And that's where I was able to align, right? And that's where I'm at right now. And I had conversations with 2 of my neighbors just last night. People are drawn to me in these seasons of change. And I'm able to shorten that time period because I'm the angel for them, because I've had it. And I know how that feels when I'm feeling so alone. And I had someone right there to help me, give me the tools, and get me back up again. Okay. So that's tip number 2. Identify your gifts and your strengths, but how do you want to be known? But also, what are the things that, the patterns, the things that really, really upset you that you can help solve? And that might not be your paycheck work. That might be a passion project. So we're talking about mission week here this week, right? So what is your mission? What is your vision? What's bigger than you? I'm on the mission to help empower you and everyone on the planet put themselves and their health first for 34 minutes a day, so we can reduce the stress and overwhelm of life and live a more fulfilling life. So every decision, every room, everything I say yes to aligns with that mission. Okay. And so tip number 3 is you got to go out and do the mission work. Like, do the work, take action, get outside your house, get out from behind your screen, stop watching Netflix, get out and actually live your life. Live your life. Hey, right? Get out there and take action, experiment, right? When we were kids, what did we, I know I played a lot of sports. Y'all, I was on the bowling team. I was on the tennis team. I was a soloist in choir. I played the French horn. These are all fun facts. Like, I tried everything, y'all. I even tried soccer. I was a catcher for softball, the smallest catcher on earth, right? I just tried things. I'm like, nope, that's not for me. Nope, that's not for me. I don't like that. I like this. This lights me on fire. This doesn't. Why do we stop doing that as adults, y'all? And y'all have kids that you're like, they're in like 10 different sports. Can't you just pick one? No, they're in that explorative, like, curiosity phase. Speaking of curiosity, I know, it's nap time for him, but this is Diego. He's so curious. I woke him up from a nap. I'm sorry, buddy. Yeah. But he's so curious about everything. He's finding nooks and crannies, and right. So why can't we do that as adults? Get out there and take action and experiment on what things that do set your soul on fire. Get out there and have fun and play and laugh and joy and experience life. What memories are going to be when you watch the same show over and over and over again, or the same movie again, or the same Netflix show that keeps watching you? I love you, but we got to get out there. Less thinking and more doing. More explorative, more curiosity, more fun, more play, more flow, more freedom, more joy. Why not you? So we got to get out there and take action. Less thinking, less doing, getting more courses, doing more things. Yes, I have courses too, but I help you go through this so you can take action, learn, implement, learn, execute, take action, messy action right now. So the question is, who are you right now? What can you do with what you've got? And how can you get out there and start living your best life? And clarity doesn't come from sitting behind a computer screen. Clarity does not come from you watching Netflix. It's not just going to show up at your door in a silver platter. Clarity comes from you taking action and having it be messy and being like, oh, that wasn't for me. Let's pivot. Let's try something else. And it's that pursuit of what sets your soul on fire where the clarity comes. Because we kind of say no to the things that no longer serve us. The people, places, society, other people's opinions, other people's schedules. We get to set boundaries. We get to ask for help. We get to be rescued by a baby kitten that just shows up one day in your lap. Tomorrow's not promised, my friends. Get out there and live your life. Stop scrolling Instagram. Stop scrolling all over the internet, unless you're watching me and taking in this message. But I want you to take action. Don't just take inspiration and be like, oh, okay, and I wonder why motivation and life isn't happening for me. It's only good for someone else. No. You got to get out there and experiment and take the action. Be a willing participant in what sets your soul on fire. So That's my talk for you here today, my friends. As we're landing, I'm about to hop on a podcast with Living Authenticity with Emily. So I'll be back live here. So you'll see me again here shortly. I'm going to take 10 minutes, take a quick snack. And so I'll be back. But hopefully you enjoyed this message. Please let me know, what is your mission? And ask yourself these questions. Reflect on your passion, your values. So it's less start and stop, less covering, less compartmentalization, just to be aligned in what lights you on fire. So it's your life's work, right? Identify your strengths, your gifts, your impact, your legacy, your mission that's bigger than you, right? What can you do with what you've got? What bothers you? What can you help people with? And experiment and take action. Get out there. Less thinking, more doing. Okay? Let's do it. Have a great rest of your day. Happy Monday. This is your Monday motivation here. And let me know what resonates with this message. And if you'd love to connect, book a call with me, krystalorecrews.com/book. I would love to connect with you and just see where we can help support you and help you navigate life stressors and pressures, because we're not meant to do life alone. So get out there, be great, and pursue what sets your soul on fire. And cruise beyond the limits, the people, places, and society, other people's opinions, and most importantly, cruise beyond the limits that you place on yourself, and keep showing up for your health, no matter what. Like your life depends on it, because it does. Have a great day, everyone. Cheers. Cruise beyond limits.